All right, so I've just flown this drone 4 times now for about 20 minutes each, and it's been about 20 minutes flight time, about 20 to 21. I'll say 19 to 21, depending on like conditions and stuff. So you're never really gonna get the 31 minutes that they tell you, to be honest. But I'm planning on buying more batteries and getting like a 3-way charging hub as well. So I'm planning on getting those on eBay. The two for 155 or 2 for 55, and then the 2 for 55, and then the charging hub for 29 bucks. So yeah, with that, I think that's the plan. That'll give me about an hour every time I come out. That takes about an hour to charge. So yeah, not terrible, but I'd say about like an hour 10-ish. So like I've flown it 3 times today, got up in the morning, not like super early, but just when I got up, ate breakfast, and then flew it, and then charged, and then flew again after I did some stuff. So it's like, it's not the end of the world, but like if I were to like go out somewhere and try to fly, that would suck because I'm not gonna have an hour to wait. So that's why the batteries would come in handy. And just even now, like I could fly for an hour, and with the 3-way hub I'd be able to fly. Oh fuck, my knee's still fucked. Fly for longer. But so there's about 4 things that I don't like with this. First thing, 4 things so far, and some of them aren't like specific to like the whole DJI thing. It's more this drone, and some of the things too I also like knew what I was getting into. So controller, you have to take off your case. I mean, depends on your phone obviously, but for my phone, it's bigger, like a little bit bigger, and it won't really fit properly with the case on, so I have to take the case off. But when I take the case off, it fits fine. But I just thought I'd point that out. And again, for loudness, it's not really that loud. I did a loud, not like a full-on test, but I made a video not with the not with the DJI and with the GoPro, so you can kind of check that out on my channel as well. And yeah, so the other thing I don't like is there's a lot of restrictions, and I'm not saying that's DJI's fault. I'm just kind of putting that out there so you can kind of like expect it and know what like things you can't really control. What I mean by that is, like, depending on where you live and if you're closer to airports or like no flight zones and stuff like that, so you won't even be able to fly and like it just won't let you take off if you're like way too close to the airport. And that's obviously annoying, but I mean, that's not DJI's fault. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying that's something to consider if you're getting into drones, because there's a lot of, not that much regulation. Like this one is under 250, so I don't have to really get it registered, but it still has to follow the restrictions and everything. Another thing is specifically for this drone, I mean, and I knew obviously I wasn't expecting all of that, but I'm just going to point that out anyways, that when you're flying this, you kind of have to keep an eye on it, obviously. Keep a line of sight, because it doesn't have obstacle avoidance, so you can't really just like FPV it and just go straight by the footage. At least that's not what I've been doing. It's more like you kind of have to look at the drone and the footage, which is a little annoying. But like I said, like if you get one of their higher end drones, you're not gonna have that problem, I assume. Like you'd still probably want to keep an eye on it, but you don't have to do as much because it has sensors that will tell you when there's obstacles and everything. And yeah, so it kind of feels like you're flying and like babysitting the drone, which, if that makes sense, I think it's the best way to put it. But again, it's not really too big of a problem for me, but because for 150, like, you know, it's not really that deep. Of course, the second my drone runs out of battery, the second biker comes. But that was, the first one was like, I guess none of these bikes are like that cool. They're still nice, but I was looking for like sport bikes to film. That would have been cool. And there's another one. That is crazy. That doesn't sound that good. But yeah, that was really the main things I want to talk about. The battery runs out like a pretty fast. But overall, like, it's not bad. It's really not. What else am I trying to say? What else? Because I've only flown it 4 times. There was something else I think I was gonna mention. Yeah, I mean, other than the batteries, you have to, because if you only have one battery and you don't have like the charging hub or anything, you have to just charge it through the drone, which is nice and kind of not nice at the same time. It's not really that deep, but when I get the hub and everything, it'll be fine, I guess. And another tip too for these drones and the batteries is when you're not flying it, like it's just sitting in your room, take the battery out and just like put it outside of the drone or like outside of the charging hub, because these are supposed to be like intelligent batteries and they're supposed to discharge. Like, they don't want to be at 100% all the time, so they're supposed to. And I believe I saw somewhere that they kind of fixed it with the newer drones or the newer patch or something. But just to kind of do your own due diligence, I guess I would just keep it outside, because just take the drone, take the battery out, put it outside, and then put the rest of them inside. Yeah, overall I like this drone. It's been really cool. So the max I believe the max like overall for this is 500 meters for the 4K, but at least where I'm in right now, I can only go up to 60 meters. So that's also something to consider. Like, you can't just go like super up there. You kind of have to wait a little bit, but like, you can only get to 60 and then it'll just stop. It'll just shut you off. That's kind of also something I don't like with like too much technology. I mean, because like, imagine this was like an old, I mean, obviously if it was an olden day drone, I wouldn't be able to do all this, but imagine there was like no restrictions on it. I could just fly whatever I want. But obviously it's an aircraft, I guess, and it still might affect like planes or stuff like that. I don't know, maybe it won't. I don't know, I'm not an expert in all that stuff, but I guess they have them in place for a reason, or maybe they just want control. I don't know, but either way, it restricts you at 60. But obviously I'm in somewhat close to an airport, but more rural area or like something like that, you might be able to fly it higher. And another thing, it was a little windy earlier. I don't know exactly how windy, but it was, I would say, like 10 plus miles per hour, and it's like, it still holds its own really well. That's something I really like. As level 5 wind resistance, so it keeps itself like in shape a lot, and it like just hovers as it's supposed to, and the stability and everything's really nice. Another thing I don't like about this is the zoom on this drone. It only goes 2x, but again, for the price, like, I'm not expecting a crazy amount, but I'm just mentioning it just so if you want to consider this drone and you're looking for specific stuff, you might not meet those. So yeah, that's really it. But going back to the wind part, it was pretty good. It held its own, and I took it up to like 50 meters too. And like, I mean, obviously I'm scared that it might fall out, but like, it's given me confidence that it's good in those situations, and it's been really nice. And sometimes I've been flying it a little bit further, or if it's like really high up there, like it's all the way up there or something like that, sometimes I lose track of it and I get worried, because like, I'm trying to keep it in my line of sight as well. But like, if I look away, like if I look at the footage, then I sometimes lose track of it, because it's just kind of like a needle in a haystack. Like, it's not really bright. It's just white, and then when you take it up in the sky, it's just gonna blend in there, and it's kind of hard to see. So that's another thing too, if you want to put like some tape or something on it to help you keep track of where it is. The other thing, I guess, was the controls are pretty easy to learn, and the app also makes it nice. Another thing, yeah, you need your phone for this one too. It's not the screen one. And then it has a return to home feature, which I tried once. So like, when it goes to low battery, if it gets to a certain point, it'll just take off and say automatic return to home, or you can cancel it. But yesterday I tried, or like, it did it automatically, and it just started flying up, and I got worried, so I just canceled it and just flew it down myself. But yeah, another thing I also like about this is when you fly it, when you go to land the drone, if you get to a certain thing, it'll auto land for you, which is nice. But another thing too is when you gotta get into the field, I'll call it, like right here, like where it's not really like a spot you kind of want to put it. Like I don't want to just put it on the grass. So I kind of brought this Frisbee as a landing pad so I can put stuff on it. So that's something else to consider. You might also want to get one of those like helipad things that I've seen on videos as well for landing and stuff, because when you're in the field it's just kind of like you realize you don't really have much place to put it. I mean, like there is place to put it, but like I don't want to put it on rocks or put it on grass, because when it takes off it might like chip into the grass and some of that might get stuck inside. I don't know, I just rather not risk it, especially when I can just bring a cheap Frisbee that's not even like I didn't even pay for it. I just got it from some random fair. Yeah, but the controls are nice. It has auto takeoff, and then the return to home, I haven't really fully used it, but it is a cool feature. I just don't know how it really pairs well when you don't have obstacle avoidance. I think it might be with GPS or something like that, so I'm not sure. I will talk about it when I actually finally try it, I guess, but for now it's still a cool feature and I like it. And yeah, I think I finally also got a sense of all the buttons and stuff, and this drone actually has some cool features that I haven't used yet either, like the quick shots mode and stuff. But yeah, this is for taking pictures and like easily starting and stopping the video or switching to pictures. For switching the pictures you kind of have to do in the app, but this is for easily starting and stopping them. And then this is for the angle of the gimbal camera, like that. And then this is like a function button. I guess you can kind of use this to zoom and stuff. I haven't tried that yet. I just kind of been zooming on the app, but yeah. And then everything else, I haven't tried this button, this camera one either. But yeah, I believe this case is aftermarket because my friend bought it. So I would also get a case, obviously, I guess. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. I would also recommend extra batteries depending on your purposes, because the realistic flight time is only about 20 minutes. So I guess I'll put it in the 19 to 21 minute, but just realistically it's like 20 minutes before it starts bugging you with the low battery stuff. Yeah, so it's not that much in terms of that, I guess, but it is what it is. It flies great. The wind resistance, I've liked it so far. I probably wouldn't fly it in like the rain or the snow, and just be careful where you're like landing it, just because you might not want to get like debris in it inside, because probably a fragile drone. So yeah, don't crash it. But just, I guess the biggest tip is to keep it in the line of sight, so you just know, because there's no obstacle avoidance on it, so you are the obstacle avoidance pretty much. So I would keep it in a line of sight. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What I wanted to kind of discuss, what I've learned over 4 flights in 2 days, because I love flying this thing and I'm addicted now. So yeah, I probably won't have that much like flight footage, because right now I'm kind of flying somewhat close to where I live, so I'll have more videos on flight footage and stuff when maybe in March, or maybe if I get to go somewhere cool and I bring the drone. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the quick little video. If you have anything else, there's one part that I have to cut out because I accidentally showed a street sign, but other than that, it's gonna be pretty much just a one-take video and keeping it raw and keeping it honest. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions or anything, or comments or questions, just comment them down below. I'll answer them to the best of my knowledge, because like I said, I've only had this for like a week and I've only flown it 4 times, but I think I've learned a pretty good amount of it. So if you have anything that you want to learn that I know of, let me know. But yeah, and also on the eBay batteries, I'm waiting for them to get back in stock, and then I'm going to order them. And they're somewhat through DJI, like they're DJI verified and stuff, so I'm not too worried about them, but it should be fine. And the charging hub I'm gonna get, it's also like a DJI charging hub. It's just gonna be, I'm gonna get a used one. I don't really care that much, and it's like used, refurbished and stuff. So, and it's through Amazon. I can just return it. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Peace. Bye.